अच्छा ठीक है। हिमांशु।
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes.
प्रकाश सर, आपके एंड से इको हो रहा है, शायद डबल डिवाइस ऑन है, तो किसी एक का वॉल्यूम ऑफ कर दीजिए, वो माइक। प्रकाश सर।
हिमांशु।
Yes, sir.
Hello.
सर आपके तरफ से इको हो रहा है सर।
मेरे तरफ से?
नहीं सर, प्रकाश सर।
ओके। बेटा सर आ चुके हैं मीटिंग में।
Yes, sir. वेलकम सर, वेलकम।
थोड़ी देर में अपन
Thank
चालू
you.
कर देते, पार्टिसिपेंट्स आ जाए।
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Prakash sir, can we start?
Hi, Himanshu. Start.
Thank you, sir. A very cheerful good morning to one and all present here. I, Himanshu Pathak, welcome all the participants, Honorable HOD sir, and respected teachers. Today, we all are here for another productive session of Sage Talk. The Sage Group has been organizing Sage Talks on various significant topics, which is very helpful for students in a very broad level. Today, in this series, we have one of the most significant topic, design of experiment in manufacturing environment. And on this topic, we have our esteemed speaker, Dr. M.K. Pradhan sir. First of all, I want to welcome Dr. M.K. Pradhan sir on behalf of our mechanical engineering department. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Now, as per our tradition, I request Prakash sir to play Sage video. Thank you so much, sir. Now, before going forward towards our today's session, I want to give a brief introduction about our today's esteemed speaker, Dr. M.K. Pradhan, sir. Dr. M.K. Pradhan is working as Assistant Professor, Grade 1 in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Manit, Bhopal. He has completed his PhD from NIT Rourkela. He has over 20 years of teaching experience and research experience also in manufacturing and 10 years of postdoctoral research experience. He has advised over 70 graduates, 45 postgraduates, and 4 PhD students. Currently advising 4 PhD and 2 graduate students. His research interests include manufacturing, non-traditional machining, metrology, micro machining, hybrid machining, and process modeling and optimization. He has more than 60 referred publications and nearly 60 technically edited papers, which were published in conference proceedings, edited 2 books, 5 conference proceedings, and 5 journals as guest editor, and also authored 10 book chapters. He is a chartered engineer, a life fellow of IIPE, and life member of ISTE, IACSIT, IAENG, and MIE1. So, sir, again, I welcome you in today's session. We are in a great privilege to hear you. So now I want to hand over today's session to Dr. M.K. Pradhan, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for this nice introduction. Let me share my screen. Can you enable me to share my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you once again for the nice introduction. I'd like to thank the organizer for inviting me as a speaker. This is my one of the topic where I am comfortable with. So I thought let us introduce this design of experiment in manufacturing environment for the SEG students. So this is the topic, basically design of experiment in manufacturing environment. Basically design of experiment can be used in any of the any field, anywhere. Okay, wherever you need to know something about the world or something where you can conduct the experiment. And while conducting the experiment, if you are designing the experiment, it will be better for the good, it will provide the good outcomes, meaningful outcomes. So before that, let us just introduce my institute, my NIT. This is the main gate. This is our new department. And this is my presentation outline. I think I am audible, right? I'm clear. My presentation is visible and my voice is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is our presentation outline where we are going to discuss experimental methods, why we are going for design of experiment, what are the strategies, the basic of design of experiment, its history, some examples, and thereafter I will briefly go through what are the various tools in design of experiments. So let us begin with as it is in the manufacturing environment. So let us introduce what is the manufacturing is all about. Basically, manufacturing is a combination of 2 words, manus plus factors. And manufacturing is basically production of the goods, services that can be used for the mankind or for the sale or in the form of products. The things which we are going to use here in manufacturing are the raw material, labor, machines, and the process. Basically 4 M's: man, machine, material, and money. Okay. Manufacturing is a field which is generally creates jobs, create wealth, produces wealth, opportunities, trades, infrastructure, self-reliance, stability, and growth of any nation. Any industrialization nation, if its manufacturing activity is good, then the standard of living of that manufacturing, that country will be said to be better. Many processes like synthesization, casting, modeling, all these processes, machining, job, prototyping, polishing, all comes under the manufacturing environment. And the total worth of the manufacturing worldwide is about 9.9 trillion. This data is a bit older, but you can see that its contribution of this 9.9 trillion by different countries are like European Union, it is about 20%, 24%, USA 18%, China 19%, Japan 10%, Germany 6%, and activities that you can see here in India is bit very less as compared to here. This manufacturing, this 1 trillion, what we are talking about, 9.9 trillion is about 1 lakh crore rupee, and the manufacturing contribution to the GDP is about 18%. So this is the importance of the manufacturing. And we know this manufacturing is the branch of engineering that focuses on improving the production of an item, where whether that's through making the product design changes or creating more effective manufacturing process. Manufacturing is backbone of any industrialized nation, and its importance is emphasized by the fact that an economic activity in a compromise approximation is about 20 to 30% of the value of the goods and the services produced. So manufacturing activity is very important for any of the industrialized nation, and it must have remember the call of our honorable Prime Minister that Make in India, Digital India, all these are to grow the manufacturing activity in the country. So a country's level of manufacturing activity directly relates to its economic wealth. To improve the economic wealth, actually, you have to improve such kind of program here. So in general, the higher the level of manufacturing activity in the country, higher the standard of living of the people. So these are all the manufacturing activity. Now we'll shift on to the design of experiment. Before going to the design of experiment, let us know what this experimentation is all about. Experimentation. So experimentation is what? When I searched this meaning of experimentation in Webster's dictionary, I found that it is an operation that is carried out under the controlled condition in order to discover an unknown effect or establish a hypothesis or to illustrate a non-law. This is the dictionary meaning of experimentation. Means whenever we are working something, when we are doing some operation in a controlled condition, means some proportion of some things that we can control in order to discover, for what? We have to discover an unknown effect or to establish a hypothesis or to illustrate a non-law. Means whenever we are not knowing anything and try to understand that part, that is the unknown effect, or establish a hypothesis. What is this hypothesis is all about? I'll tell you in detail in later stage, that before knowing any detail about any component or anything, we are making a hypothesis that if this happens, then probably this will increase or decrease, or it may affect like some statement. Like let us say one will make one statement that by increasing speed in turning operation, the surface quality will increase. This is an hypothesis we made. We don't know whether this may happen or not. So a hypothesis or a statement is made that by increasing the speed in the turning operation, the surface quality of the product will increase. So with this hypothesis, we'll try to conduct the experiment and see whether this hypothesis is correct or not. If it is correct, then well and good. If it is not correct, then we'll go for the alternative hypothesis. So whenever we are trying to know something about anything, we generally put the hypothesis and thereafter we conduct the experiments. And or next one is to illustrate a non-law. Suppose something happen is known to us. Let's the gravitational force or Newton's law, something like that, which is already known to us. And then to validate those non-law, if we are conducting some operation, that is called experimentation. Generally, scientists and engineers performs experiment to increase our understanding about the particular phenomena. By that may be unknown to us, or by making an hypothesis, or to, if it is already well known, then to establish that. Basically, the scientists try to establish the relation between the cause and the effect beyond any reasonable doubt, and conduct experiment to identify that. The truth is about such a relationship, whether existing or not. However, we engineers more concerned about finding the cause and of the problem, and then search for the possible solution to remove that cause. Suppose due to the increase in speed in turning operation or any manufacturing operation, let us say there is a defect like crackage existing, then we'll try to identify, make an hypothesis on that, and try to conduct the experiment and to see that that hypothesis is correct or not. Here I have shown some of the systems and factor affecting them. System means, here I have shown a system like a weather, economy, psychology, medicine, engineering, or for this context, manufacturing engineering, and electronic watch or electronic component like this. When you move from left to right, you'll see that the weather is a very complex system affected by several factors. That may be the temperature, maybe the humidity, maybe the time. But there are many factors that is that those are responsible for the change in weather. Just similar to that, a very complex system like economy, psychology, medicine, and when you go on, there are this in engineering, and then the electronics watch, etc., are simpler and simpler when we move from left to right. Suppose we are going to study about some system like weather or maybe economy or psychology. They are affected by many factors. Just similar to that, the manufacturing processes are also, suppose this is the manufacturing process, they are affected by several factors like man, machine, method, measurement, material, and environment. These are the main factors that are responsible for change in manufacturing process. However, the factors like man are also affected by, if somebody is working on that particular machine, let us say, his skill, his experience, his training, etc., are the sub factors that may affect this. Like that, just similar to that, the machine, maybe the speed, feed, depth of cut, or wear and tear, lubrication, how old the machine is, and the several other factors, sub factors, are also affecting the main factor like machine. Similarly, method, measurement, material, economic, and so on. The manufacturing processes are quite complex operation. Might seem fairly simple at the first glance. However, the process like turning operation, let us say, factor affecting are maybe the cutting quality, including its tool geometry, maybe cutting tool hardness, rotational speed, and several other things. So while conducting the experiment, if it is a turning operation, we have to initially identify the factor, like what are the factors or what are the things that are generally affects that particular process. The introductory remark for the experiment, Professor A.K. Atkinson is a famous professor who is working on design of experiment. He has given the definition of experiment as experiments are an effective way to learn about the world. Suppose in the world, if you will take it as a manufacturing process or anything that of your interest, then if you try to know about that particular thing, you have to conduct the experiment. So in experiments are performed to generally explore, estimate, or to confirm. Explore means to gather the data to learn about the process or the product characteristic. Or to estimate means determine the effect of the several factors on a certain process or product characteristic. Or to confirm means verifying the predicted result. Okay, so basically there are three phases of the experiment, that is exploration, estimate, and confirmation. Basically all the experiments are designed experiment, but just that some of them are poorly designed and some of them are well designed. Here in this topic, we'll try to understand how to make the experiment with well designed or well planned experiment. Why we are going for that? I'll explain that. So the experiments generally includes a series of activity. Like initially you have to make the hypothesis, as I said in the previous slides, that we have to make an underlying assumption that if this parameter changes, then there will be a change in the response. So we assume the assumption that underline the experiment, like the statement we made that with the increase in speed in the turning operation, there will be increase in surface quality. That may be true or may be a null hypothesis. If it is a null hypothesis, then we'll go for the alternative hypothesis. Thereafter, making up the hypothesis, will generally try to conduct the experiment. What is the experiment? A series of tests carried out by the investigator to investigate that statement that is made before conducting the experiment. After conducting the experiment, we are analyzing it, it includes the understanding of the nature of the data, the performing statistical analysis of the data, collection of the data for the experiment. Thereafter, we try to understand, to try to interpret the effect of the experimental research. And thereafter, after interpreting, we are concluding this, the conclusion whether or not the original hypothesis is true or correct. Okay, if it is the original hypothesis is correct, then it's well and good. If it is not correct, then we are go for the alternative hypothesis, and for that we make further experiments. Then I request the organizer for muting there is some disturbance is coming. Please mute others. Okay. Then why should you use for this design of experiment in the manufacturing context? Basically, why actually the manufacturing context, we know that process used in the manufacturing organization are subject to variation. Means whenever we are conducting the experiments, there is it is natural that there will be a variation. Means the same machine, same material, same man, if a process is repeated, then there is definitely some variation is there, and this variation is natural. To understand that variation, basically the source of variation may be due to the combination of man, material, equipment, method, or environment, whatever the condition, whatever the factors that we have shown in that fishbone diagram in the previous slide. This combination, any combination may be responsible for this responsible for this variation, and it is quite natural. Okay, all these occurs naturally, and the first must be accommodated in the process design if the desired output characteristic has to be obtained reliably. Means within that variation, we have to plan the experiment in such a way that with this variation also we can draw the conclusion out of it. So many manufacturing organizations will be tempted to start their process with the variable setting that apparently deliver the desired output without fully exploring the range of each variation that can be tolerated. So this is why we are going for design of experiment. The impact of the natural changes are often overlooked in the process input. So most of the process control tools requires that the process to be adjusted to accommodate these natural changes of the input variables. And for example, in response to the natural batch-to-batch material property variation or a sudden breakdown of the process can occur. Clearly, this is potentially an expensive situation. So during the setup of the new manufacturing process, it is therefore important to understand the impact of the variables that are used to achieve the optimum performance and to understand the effect of an output of the natural variation. And with the 4 or more variable, understanding the impact of altering the variable becomes complex. Suppose in a process, let us assume that there are only 2 or 3 factors. If they are existing, then that may be a bit easier task to understand that which factor is responsible for this variation. However, if there are more than 4 variables, in that case, the number of experiments that you are going to conduct may be a very high number, and to understand which one is the important factor or which one is the significant factor, or whether they are directly affecting, individually affecting, single handedly affecting, or by interaction, by combination of 2 or more factors are affecting the process is important to know. So design of experiment helps one to understand these complex situations where this kind of situation is there, thus to obtain the in-depth understanding of the operation. This is the importance of design of experiment. So in turn, with the lead, which leads the engineering team to choose the necessary control variables and allowable range for setting the modifying these variables. And it is also possible to completely refine the procedure during the DOE strategies and to highlight these areas where the changes in context or the facility may bring the most of the changes. The several DOE models are available for this, including full factorial design, fraction factorial design, Taguchi operation, response surface methodology, and there are several more. So whenever we are going for full factorial, means suppose there are 4 factors. Just a minute. When there are 4 factors, I'll make you understand. We'll go through completely, discuss what is the full factorial design, fraction factorial design, or Taguchi operation, and so on. Just before that, let us see that what actually this experimentation is development, a way to gather the critical knowledge. Means in the manufacturing context, actually what we try to know, what are our aim, whether we want to increase its quality or whether it's decrease its costs, So what is the thing that we want? Depending upon that, the area of research or area of thing where we are interested in, that need to be identified by conducting this experiment. Thereafter, during the conduction of the experiment, we have to design the experiment. To make you understand that whenever you are new to this particular context, or when you are trying to know about that particular area or what that is about, before conducting the experiment, we'll go for the preliminary study about it. And before this preliminary study, we are conducting some kind of experiment. Thereafter, we are drawing the hypothesis, and depending upon those hypotheses, we are trying to conduct the planned experiment and try to fully explore about that particular phenomena. So to explain that, here I have taken one example, that whenever we are going for initial preliminary study, it is something like that an elephant is there and blind people are trying to, because whenever you are not knowing anything, you are as if you are a blind person, and you will try to understand about your sense organs, whatever you can observe by study or by seeing it. Okay, suppose you are a blind person and touching the elephant. So more than 6 blind people are there. Somebody touches its feet, then it is something like the trunk of the tree. So he'll observe, oh, elephant is something like a tree. If somebody touches his trunk, he'll say his observation will be something like that. That trunk is something like the elephant is like a python or maybe a snake. Just like that, the experimenter, whenever touches the unknown observation in that particular constant, whatever he observes, he concludes that is may be different for different people. The way he gathered the data, the way he has analyzed the data, the way he has concluded, its observation will differ for different people. So what we learn on that particular experiment, it depends on what we look or how we look. scope of our view, how up to what range we can look. Like if you touch the tail of the elephant, your observation will like the elephant is like a rope. If you see his ears, then you will say your conclusion will be that the elephant like a fan. So the area where you are interested in, the things, the experiment that you have conducted, depending upon those data, those analysis, your conclusion may be different. Similarly, the resources, the people, the equipment, the time, the material, depending, all these are the factors that are responsible for giving the conclusion of your observation. So the engineering experiments, if we had infinite time, so for the conducting the experiment, let us say, if we have got plenty of time to know about that fact, plenty of resources, budget is huge, and there is probably no excitement in the design of experiment. But all these things are limited. Whatever you have to conduct the experiment, the resource is limited, budget is limited, time is limited. Therefore, you have to make your observation or experiment in effective way, such that the effective or the conclusion can be drawn effectively with these limitations. So the experiments is performed for reduce the time to design, develop the new product. You have to try to develop the product in very shorter period of time, less time, to improve it performance of the existing process, improve its reliability and the performance of the product. These are the objective of the particular experimenter. Suppose he designs a product, then he need to know that this product should come in a very smaller lead time. The performance of this existing whatever which is in the market, its performance should be better than the previous one, or it should be reliable one, and its performance should be better than the previous one. So these are the areas he want to improve upon, and depending on that area, his parameters will be there and its range will be different, and you will conduct the experiments on that particular area and that particular range. Achieve the product and process robustness, and to perform the evaluate of material and design alternative, setting components, and to the tolerance. Therefore, we always want to fine tune or improve the process which is already existing. If it is the new one, we want to develop it. If it is already existing, we have to improve it. So in this, to sustain in this today's global competitiveness, we have to do this. Otherwise, we'll be out of market. Therefore, our interest for that particular field or area where we are looking upon, depending on that, we have to conduct and continuously improve the component by conducting the experiment, and to know which are the factors, which are the inputs that are responsible for changing these responses like cost, the robustness or performance, etc., so that we can modulate, we can change or adjust these input parameters, so that our output or whatever our desirability will be achieved. So in the today's global world, that is drive for the competitiveness affect all of us, both as a consumer or as a producer. Since as a consumer, if you look upon, you'll try to find or will try to buy that product that will be more, whose reliability is more, whose cost is less, whose material is good, whose aesthetic look is better. So these are the area that can be improved by the producer by modulating the input parameters or responses accordingly. So the experimental data design process is something like this, that initially we have to make the hypothesis. As we said, by this hypothesis cannot be done just like that, but for that you need to have some kind of preliminary studies. Thereafter you are making the hypothesis, thereafter deciding the factors, then you are designing the experiments. After conducting after designing the experiment, real experiment are done, then there will be the exploration, that is the collection of data, analysis, and thereafter we are drawing the conclusion. And after drawing the conclusion, we are making the alternative hypothesis. thereafter, again, this process continues. So remember, the scientific method of this particular designing of experiment is, first of all, briefly, we are defining the problem. That what is our aim actually, objective, you can say. Thereafter, some kind of observation or some kind of preliminary research need to be done, something like literature review or from the market study or something like that. Means preliminary research should be there after setting the, like, our problem is to improve the product quality or decrease the cost. Maybe this may be our initial objective. So to do so, at the beginning, we do observation or some kind of literature review or some kind of research so that we can formulate a hypothesis. And to make this, after underlining the hypothesis, we are conducting the experiment, data analysis, or collecting the data, analyzing it, the conclusion is made. Thereafter, the result is communicated. If this process is not satisfactory, and again we are going for next alternative hypothesis, and thereafter finally we are coming out with a conclusion, and we are publishing it as a research paper or maybe a booklet, or maybe it is explored to the or unrevealed to the market. Okay, so the state of the problems and the questions are observed, like how this, for the first stage in the scientific method, how we are making this questionnaires or the objective. For that, actually, basically, we observe it like qualitatively and quantitatively. Qualitatively, for that is we use our sense organs, whatever we see, whatever we feel, or we are taking opinion, and thereafter describing the qualities. This is the qualitative problem statement or observation. Or maybe using the preliminary experiment to using the equipment standard, and we are quantitatively observing that particular phenomena, and we are defining the problem. This is the first stage in the scientific method of experimenting. Then we are going for the hypothesis. The second stage is to make the hypothesis, which is made after the preliminary study. So hypothesis is an evaluated case or predicted state. That is, if this happens, then this may happen. Something like that. The statement is formed. Like the way I have told in the previous slide, is that with the increase in speed, there may be a change in the surface quality or maybe crack. So some kind of this kind of statement is made, and forming a valid hypothesis, you require to have a preliminary research from the scientific journal, maybe encyclopedia, or maybe the state or local research facilities, or maybe you are getting this input from the future scope of any previous work. Okay, this is the way you can make the hypothesis like this. Right? Then next stage is to predicting. To test the hypothesis is necessary to make the prediction that logically follow from this hypothesis or the previous knowledge. Okay, a statement made is in advance that states the result that will be obtained from the testing or hypothesis. That may be deductive reasoning or maybe inclusive reasoning. Then the real experiment, where the experiment is conducted. It is a structured procedure to test the hypothesis that has been made with the preliminary knowledge. All good experiments include an independent variable, a dependent variable, some constant, some controls, and repeated trial. Basically, when we are treating this, if you are treating this as a, let us say, system, in that case, suppose the system is our all turning operation or maybe manufacturing process, then speed, feed, depth of cut, material, all these are maybe the input variables that can be controlled, or that can be controlled by the manufacturer, by the operator. The output may be, which is dependent variable, maybe your surface, maybe your material removal rate, or maybe the cracks, maybe the cost, maybe the robustness, maybe the quality. Okay. Apart from this, there are some other factors which are not in controlled by the experimenter. Maybe the market condition, maybe the noise, maybe the vibration from the side if it is a manufacturing process. These are also input variable to the system like turning operation. However, they are treated as uncontrolled variables, or maybe you are treating these as constant to this particular system. So here are three factors. One is independent variable inside that can be controlled. There are uncontrolled variables that are treated as constant, and there are dependent variable. This dependent variable is what actually we need. Whether if you need productivity, more MRR, then it should be as high as possible. If you are looking for a robust component, then it should be as better as possible. Similarly, if it is a detrimental component like cracks, then it should be as low as possible. Something like a cost, it should be as low as possible. So depending upon that, our area, what we want, depending on that, what are the factors or what are the independent variable or input variables that are responsible for that could be identified. There are 5 elements in the experiments. One is your, as I said, the independent variable. This is the factor that is purposely changed by the experimenter. There is only one independent variable per experiment. This thing that I can manipulate. Actually, there are if it is a designed experiment, if it is more than one experiment, then only this design of experiment will be fruitful. Otherwise, if it is only a single input variable, that may be very easy. So designing may not be required. So dependent, next one is your dependent variable, the factors that is expected to be changed or to be measured, like MRR or quality or cost or robustness, something like that. The measurement may be resulted in data that is quantitative or maybe qualitative. This thing is the measured or observed after the experiment is conducted, after the finishing the conducted, measurable quantity. So third one is your constant, that may be controllable or uncontrollable. If something is not in our control, then we can make it as a constant. Maybe uncontrollable controlled variable, maybe a noise, maybe a vibration. Okay, maybe the market condition, the situation. Okay. Repeated trials are those trials where we are repeating the same, keeping all the parameters in the same level. That is, repeated trials means redoing the experiments to rule out our errors. There may be a chance that whenever you are conducting the experiment, there may be a chance that is unknowingly happens. That may be a chance that there may be some error. So to nullify those errors that may be coming with this unknowingly, we have to repeat the experiment with the same condition. And you may take the average of it. If you are taking more than 3 experiments, then if 2 are nearer to each other, then take those data. So these are the way of nullifying the error that is unknowingly happens, because there are several factors that is influencing the experiments. Thereafter, we are constructing the data, constructing the graphs, which relates the input and output variable, independent and dependent variable. Here you can see here a graph is plotted for MRR. This is the response, and IP is one of the parameter, and it is in the design of experiment. This graph is outcome of this design of experiment, where you can represent your outcomes, how this IP is affecting MRR. Similarly, there is another factor called T-on. It is reducing. It is again, so by plotting the data, plotting the graph against the response with relation to input variable separately, will show that how one independent variable is affecting the output variable, so that you can change. Suppose in place of this MRR, let us say this is cost, and there may be one parameter that is, when it is increasing, the cost is increasing. In that case, you can make that particular parameter as low as possible to decrease the cost. So we are trying to understand by conducting this experiment, thereafter plotting the data, that which factors is affecting which way, whether they are directly proportional, inversely proportional, or they are not affecting at all. In that case, if our desirability is something, so by understanding that, you can increase or decrease the input parameter. Thereafter, after understanding that, we are drawing the conclusion and discussion, result and discussion. Okay, so these are the 5 elements of the experiments. Then the strategy of experimentation is, the experimenter is faced with the list of factors. Initially, whenever he goes for the preliminary stage, he finds that which are the factors, which are the independent variable that are significant, influencing directly or indirectly their direct relation with it. That must be decided which one are important and significant. We would like to identify the primary factors that are significant and identify the region of interest, like what we are looking for, which in the graph we are putting is an area, but this area may be you're reducing your cost, maybe increasing your productivity, may be increasing your surface quality. So what is that area we are interested in? We have to, as an experimenter, you have to identify, and your plan, the strategy of experiment should be there. Identify the region of interest of the primary factor. Develop the useful model in the region of the optimum setting of the factors. So we have to develop a model to that particular optimum setting of these input parameters, and thereafter confirm the result. All experiments have design, but the work involved is actually planning a design. A good one is usually much less than the work of the actually performing the experiment. So the remark is, the many of the experiment involve multivariables. Like if you are talking about a turning process, then speed, the fishbone diagram I have shown, speed, feed, depth of cut, maybe lubricant, maybe material, maybe the tool what we are using, its geometry, and so on. Many things, many factors are responsible for it. Okay, so it is multi-variable function, and out of these variables, which one is the most significant one, that has to be identified, and that will be influencing more. So controlling those factors, we can control our area of interest, what we are looking for. So the goal of any experiment is to get the maximum realistic information about the system. The large the number of variable demands large number of measurement of maximum variable. So whenever you are conducting the experiment, we have to draw the conclusion. If the number of factors are more, then it is more difficult to draw the conclusion. If it is more than 4 or 5, then it is another number of experiments are huge. In that case, drawing the fruitful conclusion out of those experiment is difficult. The modern theory of experiment proves that it is not always true that the higher number of measurement will get maximum realistic information. Larger the number of experiments, huge will be the total error that enters into the operation. And larger number of measurement leads to more costly experiments. Means it is not always that do more experiment and you'll get the information. That may be creating vague information also. In that case, the experimental cost is also more, and you are not getting the realistic information. In that case, the adequate number of experiment is desirable. So that what will be that number of experiments? So that desirable means we can get the realistic or which is informative conclusion can be drawn. Okay. So those deciding those number of experiment is your design of experiment. The experimental data basic, two kind of data gathering is there. One is observation and one is experimental. Observation can't prove cause and effect, but establish association. Okay. However, the experimental cause and effect variables are interest of factor and the treatment. They are dependent and independent variable. So a practical methodology for design of experiment is fundamentally divided into 4 phases. One is the planning phase, then designing phase, conducting phase and analyzing phase. Plan the experiment, design the experiment, conduct the experiment, and analyze the experiment. So the approaches to conduct these experiments are trial and error method, one factor at a time method, and design of experiment method, what we are looking for. Trial and error method without any planning, what we are doing some experiment with some combination. Many times what happens with the experience now, people trial and experiment method, they may succeed in one or two trials. In that case, what will happen? The complex problem can solve by technique that is called trial and method, but it typically good for the problem where we have multiple chances to get the correct solution, and the cost involved is not so high. You have got quite adequate number of we have got plenty of time. Budget is good. If in the first or second trial or in the very minimum number of trial you are getting the result, then it is good. But there is no guarantee. There is no guarantee that the trial and experiment method will always succeed. If it is not succeed by some number of trials, then the cost associated with this experiment will be very high. That will again reflect in the cost of the product, and you will be out of the market. You cannot sell that particular product. So next is one factor at a time. Means suppose you have got, there are two speeds, 100 and 500. Feed is, let us say 2 and 3, and depth of cut is, let us say 1 and 2. So one at a time we are changing it and conducting the experiment. This can be possible if the number of factors are less and the levels are also less. So one factor at a time method is or monolistic analysis is a method of designing the experiment involved of the testing the factor or cause one at a time instead of multiple factor simultaneously. However, the design of experiment is a powerful statistical technique for improving the product, process, design, and solving the process problem. It makes the control changes of the input variables in order to gain the maximum amount of information, and cause and effect relationship with the minimum sample size. So when we are analyzing the process, the experiments are often used to evaluate which process input have a significant impact on the process output, and what is the target level of the input should be achieved as a desired result. And thus, the design of experiment is referred as the design experiment or experimental design. So why we are going for design of experiment? Basically, it reduces the time to design, develop a new product or process. It improves the performance of the existing process, improves the reliability and the performance of the product, achieve product and the process robustness, perform evaluation of the material designing, altering, setting component and the system tolerance, and so on. So these are the reason why we are going for design of experiment. It is design of experiment is a very long history. It initially started in the First World War era by Professor R.A. Fisher. He is a famous scientist, and he worked on the design of experiment in the agriculture sector. The first industrial era in 51 to 70, the Boxt-Wilson response surfaces application of the chemical and process industries have been developed. The component like TQM, quality improvement, have been developed. This in and Taguchi's and robust design in the era 70, late industrial era, second industrial era 70 to 90, and in the modern era, the economic competitiveness, globalization, dividing the all sector of the economy to be the multiple factors competitiveness. So these are the history. Today, design of experiment can be conducted at any situation, any kind of problem, any field. Just you have to identify the factors, and its effect can be done by the responses. To make you understand how this design of experiment works, I'll take an example. It is a cake making process. Let us say. Suppose a cake has to be made. just similar to our turning process, you can say. What are the factors that are responsible for the taste of the cake? The taste, maybe it's what we are looking for. Maybe the taste, maybe its color, maybe its consistency, maybe some cost involved with, maybe the type, or maybe the size of the component. Whatever you are looking for, that can be your objective. And to do so, for making a cake, what are the factors that you are required? You need an oven. So you need sugar, you need flour, you need eggs. These are the primary factors without which this process cannot be possible. So these are the factors. Apart from this, whether this factor has got any level or not, means in oven, the temperature is the level, that may be your 70 degree, maybe 90 degree, or 110 degree centigrade. The sugar, without sugar, the cake cannot be made. Its level means whether 1 cup, 3 cup, or maybe 5 cup. These are the level of the sugar. For flour, maybe 2 cup, maybe 4 cup, or maybe 6 cup. Eggs maybe 1, 2, or 3. So factors are those in the cake making. It is oven, sugar, and flour are the factors, and its level, how much, at what level, which range, these are called level. And the responses, maybe its color, its texture, its consistency, or maybe its taste. So as I explained, these are the factors, the level, and response is the taste. So if you represent this factor as a, let us say, system, then it can be treated like this: the cake making, or maybe your manufacturing process, maybe turning. So these input parameters are those parameters like your oven, or egg, or flour, or sugar. These are the input parameters. If you are treating this as a manufacturing process, that may be your speed, feed, and depth of cut, maybe the lubricant, maybe the material, maybe the. So what are the factors that are responsible can be put like this? You have to represent like this. And the outside output, it may be the taste, maybe the consistency, maybe the color for the cake. However, if it is a manufacturing process, that may be MRR, maybe surface quality, maybe its surface defect, maybe its number of components, like that. And some of them are, as I explained, uncontrollable variable that doesn't been control over, which cannot be controlled by the experiment. So the key terminologies for this system are interaction, randomization, blocking, and replication. In this design of factor, as I already explained, some factors, some terminology are like factors, level, replication, blocks, randomization, repetition, responses, out of which some of other terminologies are: one is your replication, that is repeating the experiments. Blocking is one, we know all about factors, we know about the level. Replication is actually repeating the same experiment with the same level, same factor, means we are taking more than one experiment with the same, so that our error can be minimized. Blocking is something like that. Let us say some experiments are conducted throughout the day. If in a block you are conducting, if it is conducted in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, then these are maybe the 3 blocks, means in a set of experiments you are conducting in a particular environment. Similarly, after planning, if we are making the randomization, if you are randomizing it, means you are not conducting the experiment in sequence, rather you are randomizing it. You are conducting with the higher speed first, then with the lower speed, then with the higher depth of cut, just randomizing the number of experiments. Sometimes the factor do not behave the same way when they are locked at the together, as when they are alone. It is called interaction. It is something like that. If some 2 students are there, if they are individually studying, there may be increase in marks by, let us say, 10 for 1 hour. Let us say 1 hour, 2 students are there. If they together study, there may be increase in marks by 20 or 25. So many a time what happens, if there is an interaction exists between 2 parameters, in that case, when they are acting combinedly, their effect on the response is different. So this is called interaction. If they are separately, they do not have interaction, means by increasing some one of them may increase or decrease of the response like that. But if they are combinedly, they have got effect. In that case, what will happen? They have got, it is said that they have got interaction with this plot. The interaction plot can be used to visualize the possible interaction between two or more factors. Suppose in this graph, I would like to explain. Suppose MRR is there. With the increase in speed, the MRR is increasing. But with the increase in feed, if they are interacting like this, let us say, MRR is increasing like this. Means two graphs are intersect each other. Then there must be some kind of interaction is existing between them. However, if there is no interaction, then graph will be plotted parallel to each other. They will never meet like this. So in this analysis, design of experiment analysis, we have to interpret by plotting the individual parameter whether there is any interaction exist or not. The type of experimental strategies that I have already, some of them I have already discussed. That is one best guess. This is trial and error method. Then one factor at a time. We're changing the factors one at a time. So if their number of factors are more, in that case, the number of experiments are also very huge. However, the statistical design experiment, the most effective method of solving the complex problem with many variables like our manufacturing processes or by cake making. So these are the strategies. In this statistical design of experiment, there are many different kind of types that may be your, I'll explain in the next slide. In the industry, basically 39% of the industries follow the best guess, where one of the men, which is very experienced one, he will say that in this particular situation, this will maybe the combination. And in that particular combination, they are generally work and they are happy with it. Suppose in this graph, let us say, in the best guess, suppose the optimum region is somewhere here. And in the best guess, the person told experience proportion that you conduct the experiment here. So what will happen in that industry? They will always work on this area, which is suboptimal, not optimal process. In that case, they will not get the actual benefit out of it. Therefore, identifying the optimum area is very important. For that, you need to conduct in a very wide range of experiment, and then you define the optimum area. So best guess, always there may be a chance that experienced people may guess it perfectly, but in that case, what will happen? You are not confirmed whether that is in the actual optimal value or not. There may be, you have always a doubt that the best guess or best optimal condition may be slightly different from this. 80% of the industries conduct the experiment one factor at a time strategy. However, only 20% of the industries carried out the experiment with this pre-established statistical method. So these are the type of design of experiment: the best guess, one factor at a time, full factorial design, then fractional factorial design, then Taguchi method, then response surface method. The one factor at a time is if the number of factors are less and the levels are less. In that case, what will happen? You can go for this one factor at a time, and with the huge number of experiments, you can come out of it. But it has got cost involved with the experiment. Therefore, it may be a costly affair. And the full factorial design, all the factors, let us say the factors which are, there are 5 factors, and with the 2 levels, then there will be 5 to the power 2. There will be 25 experiment. Means all possible combination in the statistic are taken and all experiments are being conducted. The fractional factorial are those factor methods where if they are symmetric, then 50% of the data are cut off and half of the experiments are conducted. Just similar to that, there is a Taguchi method and there is response method. These are actually, the Taguchi method is the philosophy in which there is minimum number of experiments to conduct all this. Means suppose a experiment is conducted, let us say 64 experiment in full factorial, that may be that same output may be get in Taguchi method by conducting just 9 experiments. So this is a Taguchi strategy that we are maybe discussing in the next few slides. Then response surface methodology. Okay. So these are the different type of experimental strategies. May I ask how many time left with us so that we can plan our presentation accordingly? May I request the organizer to tell me how much time is left with us?
Prakash sir. Hello, Prakash sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How much time we left with us?
So, hello.
Oh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
should I continue? How much time I have got? I've left with us.
5 to 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. So basically, we are talking about the different type of design of experiment here, where we have already discussed many of them. So in the best guess, what happens? Okay, in the best guess, this approach is actually frequently used in practice by the engineer, where a very experienced people will tell something using his knowledge, theoretical knowledge and technical knowledge, and he suggests something, and on that generally it works. But what will happen? The best guess approach has at least two disadvantages. One is that suppose the initial best guess does not produce the desired result. Now the experiment has to take another guess at the correct combination of the factor and level. This could continue for a long time, without which there is no guarantee that it will succeed or it will reach that particular optimal condition. Suppose he has taken that trial here, and there is no guarantee, because even if he reaches here, he will not be satisfied. He may be thinking that there may be another. So this is one of the disadvantages. And suppose that the initial best guess produces the acceptable result, although there is no guarantee that that is the best solution that has been found. So he will be always in doubt. So best guess is not good. Next is one factor at a time. If you have got some factors with the levels, he will change one factor at a time by changing speed first to the next stage, then feed, then depth of cut. What happens is that one factor at a time approach frequently lead to suboptimal solution. This is because this assumes that the effect of the one factor is same for each level of the other factor. The factor do not interact. Unfortunately, in practice, factor frequently interact, and the changes or two or more factors interacting increase or gather the number of factors investigated and the wide range over which the factors variable. So this doesn't produce the interaction effect at all. Therefore, it is always advisable for the factorial design that too there is not full factorial, rather it should be a designed plan like response surface methodology, which will generally conduct 30 experiments for 4 to 5 levels, or by Taguchi method, which is generally 9 or 12 experiment will do your purpose. The correct approach of dealing with several factors is to conduct factorial design. This is an experimental strategy in which the factors are varied together instead of one by one at a time. A full factorial design of experiment consists of the following. It varies simultaneously, more than one factor at a time, or at 2 or more levels. It performs experiment at all levels with all factors, hence perform a large number of experiments that are needed, and all interaction, whether A and suppose the factor is A and A, B, C, D, then AB or AD or AC, all possible interaction are captured. Thereafter, they are significant or that has been identified using this. The experimenter is interested in the main effect and the interaction effect along with the factor. Means always you will get, if you are conducting the full factorial design, the main effect, mean individual, how they are affecting each factor, or how they are combinedly affecting with each of the factor are identified using this. There are some design like screening design. This is generally conducted before making the hypothesis for the preliminary design. Then we are got Taguchi orthogonal array. The Taguchi orthogonal method is a structured approach for determining the best combination of input to produce a product or service. The based on the DOE methodology for determination of parameter level. Taguchi approach designed for the robust design respectively. It is respective. Traditional design of experiment focused on variation in is more interesting to study than the average, and it based on the robust design and experimental method to achieve the method and process quality method designing in an insensitive to noise based on the statistical approach. So as I told in the previous lecture that there are in the previous slides that there are two factors. One is control level and the noise factor. In the robust design, a statistical engineering methodology aims to reduce the performance variation of the system. They have got control factor and noise factor. Control factor are those which can be controlled by the process. All other things are treated as the noise. Suppose I have taken one example of heat treatment here. Heat treatment is a process in which we try to improve the performance of the product. The factors which are responsible here are maybe temperature with the 2 levels, quenching rate with again 2 levels, cooling time, carbon content, CO2 concentration. Apart from that, there may be several other factors also, the type of quenching liquid or maybe the oven or something like that. But they has to be identified. Let us say in this problem, there are the 5 factors that is been identified, and out of which, what is the effect of each of them, these factors on the heat treatment process can be identified. So determine which process parameter have a greatest impact on this. The hardness of the steel component, to investigate how different parameters affect the mean and the variation of the process characteristic. The Taguchi method is the best used when there are intermediate number of variables, like 3 to 50, few interaction between the variables and only a few variable control significantly. To do so, actually the different steps that are involved are identify the main function, side effect, failure mode, identify the noise factor, testing condition and the quality characteristic, identify the surface function to be optimized, identify the control factor and their levels, select the orthogonal array, conduct the experiments, analyze the data, and perform the verification experiment or validation experiment. And out of this experiment, we'll get the output like this main effect, where you can see how each of them individually affect the response, interaction effect, how they are interacting with each other, and then you can observe that which factor may be taken into consideration or which factor is affecting how. These are the cube points, the plots like Pareto charts. You can see here in the Pareto charts which factor has a greatest influence. Similarly, some plots like normality plots. Then there will be some response surface plots like this. These are the outcome of the this planned experimental design. So actually, this design of experiment is a very you can say very long one. There are each factors, each topic what I am talking about, Taguchi method, response surface, full factorial design. All together, you need to have some very brief you can say all together is a very deep subject. So we have briefly touched all the processes that is being used in the response surface in the design of experiment method. We have started with experiments. We have started how the different type of experiment where we can use the design of experiment and so on. So with this, I'll like to stop here, and in the subsequent classes, if possible, we'll go for the different approaches like Taguchi design, response surface design, with some kind of, there are various softwares which are available like Minitab, design of experiment, SPSS, Statistica. Using all these, you can conduct the experiment and try to draw the conclusion out of the experiments. So I'd like to thank you the organizer to given me this opportunity to interact with us. I'd like to interact with the audience if they like to have some kind of queries.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful and productive session, especially for all our engineering students. And today's session gave us some excellent insights about the design of experiments in manufacturing. So now I request all the participants, they are open to talk or to ask any questions if they have. Sir, there is a small question which I have. As we all know, we are unable to attend classes physically. So students are not getting that type of experimental learning. So how to cope up with this problem? Because engineering is all about experiments and practicals.
In that case, if you are not able to conduct the experiment, in that case, you have to go to the data which is available in the different literature, or many times the where suppose some kind of magazines are also available where they are producing the data. Many times you will get the data in the good articles. No, always good articles try to give the experimental data. You can try to take the data from that particular paper and try to analyze that. That will be one of the case. Or you can borrow from somebody is working in the industry. Then he may be helping you to collect the data. Either you can take from directly from the industry or maybe from the published literature.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I request all the participants that we have shared feedback link in chat box. So they will continue with the feedback link, and taking the session forward, I request NK Sagar sir to present certificate of appreciation to our esteemed speaker, MK Pradhan sir, and to deliver vote of thanks.
Okay, thank you, dear Himanshu. Very good morning to Pradhan sir. Now I request to Professor Prakash Kardari sir, please present a certificate by sharing a screen. Prakash sir.
Yes, sir, I have shared it.
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir. It is visible.
No, not visible yet on my screen.
Sir, I am able to see it.
Okay, but I am not I am not able to see on my screen. I think there is a network issue. I request to Dr. M. Pradhan sir. Sir. Himanshu.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
अच्छा, सभी की स्क्रीन पे आ रहा है सर्टिफिकेट?
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
चलिए, नो प्रॉब्लम. हाँ, now it is visible. So I request to Dr. M.K. Pradhan sir, please accept this certificate from our side. This is the appreciation certificate for your nice delivering for today's session, and a token of love from our department and institute. Sir, please accept, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And also, sir, we will mail it on your mail ID, sir.
All right, all right. Thank you very much, Sagar sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now, a very good morning to all of you present here. Respected invited our esteemed speaker, Dr. M.K. Pradhan sir, and all faculty members, staff members. Nice lecture on the design of experiment, and sir, really you have explained each and everything nicely related to the design of experiment, and definitely, sir, our faculty, all faculty members and students will be benefited from your this session. Thank you very much, sir. I extend my great thanks to our HOD, Dr. Nitin Kangriya sir, for organizing such a wonderful webinar, and I request also to organize such webinars in the future also. I convey my sincere thanks to all participants, faculty members, staff members, and students of our institute, as well as outside the institute, for attending the session from start to end. Thank you very much to all of you. I also my heartily thanks to faculty coordinator Professor Prakash Kardari and student coordinator Mr. Himanshu Pathak for giving their best contribution to make this webinar grand success. So thank you very much to all of you, and I hope we will meet soon in the next webinar. Thank you very much. Yes, over to Himanshu sir. Himanshu.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Again, I thank my sincere thanks to Dr. M.K. Pradhan sir for delivering such a wonderful session. Thank you so much, sir. Now moving towards the end of the session, a very good day to all the participants and students. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for attending the session.
Okay, Himanshu, thanks. Prakash sir, please end the session. Prakash sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes.